Play.
I'm ready.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1, play. And here we go. Welcome, guys, to game number 2 of Midweek Madness. And this time we have Team Viper versus Team DauT. It's the same players and the same teams as last time. So hopefully as the series gets going, you guys will be a little more familiar with the players by the end. And once again, I'm joined by Nobody41, and I'll let you go ahead and introduce the players and the map, since I did such a bad job of explaining it just a minute ago.
All right, so before we talk about any of the players, let's talk a little bit about the map. In the middle area, we have a giant, basically like a giant island, I would call it. It's got tons of resources in it.
Just to interrupt, this isn't a giant island. This is the motherland. Just want to add that there, because you got to get it right, man. This is the motherland.
Okay, it's the motherland. Okay. There's a giant motherland, and on it we have the two players. We have the Viper and we have DauT, so the two legends. And on the outside we have tiny little daughterlands, I suppose. And it's got very little gold and stone, and players will have to migrate eventually to the motherland.
Yeah, or as someone in the chat says, it's a potato.
Yeah, or a potato.
Yeah, or a potato. But yeah, okay, so you've got the giant spud in the middle, and you've got the little spuds at the edge. And basically, you've got our two experts, our two tyrants in the center, and then you've got our intermediate and our rookie players out at the edge. This map is designed for 8 players, which is why you have the little area on each corner of the map without anything on it at all, apart from, well, some trees, obviously, but no one is there. And that's just because it's supposed to have 8 players. We're, of course, doing it with 3. But I think the map still works the same anyway. And as Deuce quite rightly said, players will have to migrate into the center as the game goes on. I think this is going to be super cool. Obviously, DauT and Viper starting very close together, so we're going to see some early middle action here. But on the edge, players can go ahead and boom up a little bit with some fish. But also, of course, take water control as well. And I'm going to be interested to see how the balance between water aggression and land aggression plays out here, because really the water is very valuable for the fish, but the center island is so big that you're pretty safe from the shoreline anyway.
Yeah, I wonder what the strategies are going to be. The top level of players, I assume, coordinating the strategy between these guys. So very interested about that. It looks like DauT might lose his scout early. Oh no!
Very close. He just gets out of the way there, just. And DauT going to lose a lot of HP on that scout, like 30 HP. But whew, Viper already starting to wall up a little bit, and DauT as well, actually. And the center of this map, I think we should talk about, because this is where the early action is really going to be taking place, out here in the middle. But also, let's not forget that players can build a transport ship in the Dark Age, which means that we could see Andoran or Idefix coming to transport over to the Viper, perhaps, but that's something that probably will come a little bit later on. For now, Viper and DauT just going to have to go toe-to-toe, and this is why I think we should look at the map. The map is very, there's a lot of trees. It's very easily wallable. You can see Viper with just a couple of houses and a palisade on this right side, a house and a palisade on the left, and he's basically walled off the entire front of his base here. So, you know, maybe we'll see some towers coming in just to get the pressure going, or maybe we'll actually see players a little more passive. But since they are so close, I would expect to see some early aggression.
And luckily, DauT's lost enough HP on his scout that he's not able to go for that no loom pick off again. But what I wanted to mention was I've seen a few variations of Motherland. This one tends to be pretty closed. Usually it's a lot more open than this. So maybe we won't see as much early aggression. Maybe we will. But what is DauT doing? It looks like he's going forward with villagers. He might be planning a tower rush.
Well, I've got to say another thing about the center here. Of course, with it being the motherland, there is a mother load of resources, and that comes in the form of many boar, a lot of these ostrich, which are essentially deer, and the extra boar is certainly scattered around and very accessible in the center. So we actually have a pretty quick feudal time coming in for both players. DauT a little bit faster than the Viper, and I think I might have predicted this one correctly, because he is sending the 4 villagers over, and he has got villagers taking stone as well. Since DauT is playing as the Koreans, I think we're going to see a trush.
I think we're going to see a Trush too. I just wanted to point out one of the big changes in Rise of Rashes is that the Koreans' fortifications get up 25% faster than they do in AOC, which is a massive advantage. It's like giving yourself the Spanish bonus right on top of that.
So first tower coming in from DauT at the back, and I love that he's put it on this tiny little hillock right here. And I wonder if he's going to put his next tower on this little hill right here as well. Yeah, he will. There you go. Taking all those hill advantages, guys. Never underestimate the power of a hill. But I got to add as well, this like cracked sand stuff. Your buildings are actually weaker on the cracked sand, so you've got to be very careful where you're building here, especially if you're building walls and such, because they are easier to take down when they're on the cracked sand. But since these hillocks are here, this is perfect, because villagers will actually have an attack disadvantage against these towers when it comes to trying to bum rush them down. So this is fantastic. DauT right now going to leapfrog forward. What's Viper's response going to be? He is adding in a barracks right now, and he really isn't prepared for this tower rush, it seems. Losing one villager already. And does he not have loom? He still doesn't have loom. Nobody. What is going on?
Oh my god. Players get
three villagers.
Oh my god.
3 villagers down.
Oh my god.
Oh,
it looks like
geez.
another one too. No, she's going to get it.
Okay.
Oh, okay, she's going to get it.
Okay, seriously. What is going on with this channel and players not getting loom until way too late? It's just like a running thing. I thought, okay, first time, oh, it's just, you know, one player being forgetful. Second time, I'm like, okay, seriously questioning this now. By the time it's like the 5th time that players are forgetting loom, I'm just starting to think, are they playing with us? Are they messing with us?
Oh, and the Viper loses another village. He did not see any of this coming at all. And how can you blame him? The DauT has had to go a long way to do this. I would have not expected this at all. But this is huge damage coming in onto the Viper.
Go on, fight with the villagers as well. You've got 4 versus 2. Batter them. Go on. Yes. DauT getting in there with his vills. Viper going to be pushed away from this wood line. He's had to rebuild his lumber camp at the front as well here. And DauT's like, yep, I'm just going to wall this lumber camp in. Just make it hard for you to gather resources. Love it. I want to say, though, I've noticed, looking at the minimap, that the players on the outside aren't going for any real water aggression. They've actually transported their villagers to the center. And that's, of course, to grab the wood lines here, since the wood on these starting islands is absolutely atrocious. I wonder if they're going to commit to water, or if we're going to see them starting to do more on the land. As we see Squeak here, adding in a barracks as the Italians on the motherland to perhaps support DauT in his rushing endeavors.
Yeah, I'd like to point out the 2 outside civilizations are Italians and Vikings, the same as last time, but they are very strong water civilizations. But then again, neither player is really going for the water. It could be potentially...
DauT's going to get trapped. He's going to get trapped. Viper's just walled him in.
Oh my god.
Oh, DauT. Surely DauT must have known that was a bad idea. He's going ahead attacking that palisade. Viper just walks over with a single villager, builds a house, and DauT is trapped. Though he will be able to build a watchtower here as well. But still, I mean, come on. Another thing, though, these towers are preventing Viper from building any farms, so Viper's food income is practically nil. However, he's still been able to get to the castle age. He's actually clicked up to castle right now, and I really question what's he going to do when he gets there without any real food income. He doesn't have a dock, and his ostrich are about to run out, and with no farms either, where's that food going to come from?
Well, he does have 2 fishing ships, but that's still not enough
he?
food for nights.
Oh,
he's
you're right.
barely going to be able. Yeah, he's barely going to be able to produce villagers. And another great tower coming in from DauT on the north side. It's going to take the Viper off of some of his lumber.
Yeah, he's already building another lumber camp to the south here, but yeah, keep disrupting that wood and such. It's a real pain. I want to add that slinging is banned in this tournament until players are in the Imperial Age. So even if Viper hits castle, his teammates can't sling him because it's against the rules. So I don't know what the real game plan is right now for Viper once he does hit castle. Oh, he's grabbing a boar, actually. There you go. There's extra bonus boar coming into play. That's another 340 food. Though it's a very messy boar lure, that's for sure. Wow. Oh my god, he forgot he was the Goths, didn't he?
Yeah, it gets everyone at some point.
Oh, wow. Well, I guess he's doing it out of range of the towers at least. But I think Viper forgetting he was Goths there, who of course have bonus damage versus Boar. I wouldn't even, that's listed as a bonus for the Goths. I actually
It's
question
more
whether
like a
that's...
disadvantage.
Yeah, is that really a bonus? Is that something worth adding as a bonus? Oh, you do bonus damage to Boar? Oh, great. Now I miss my Boar lure. Thanks, game. But, yeah, Viper here in a real spot of trouble. As DauT continues to build towers and harass him even more. He is castle now, though, and he's got enough resources for 2 knights. He does have quite a bit of gold, so maybe we'll see a market come up, and he'll maybe redistribute his resources a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, a couple of knights. I don't know if it's going to have a huge impact here. We will see. As you see at the back of DauT's base, Squeak adding 2 stables of his own. Squeak is also about to hit castle, and he's got a lot of fishing ships right now. So Squeak going to be doing a lot of knights out of these 2 stables, and certainly going to be eclipsing anything that Viper could throw out from his 1 stable right now.
So we're seeing the strategy from some of these players develop. We see both Andoran and Idefix going heavy onto the water, whereas only King Marv is going heavy onto the water, and he's going to lose. I think he's going to lose 2 versus 1, and they could potentially lose all their fishing ships here. But the question is, what can Squeak do with his knights?
Yeah, there is a huge amount of fish. Squeak, for the time being, looking fairly safe, to be honest. I mean, he's not really lost many fishing ships just yet. But as you said, Andoran here has got war galleys out, so we could see King Marv and Squeak losing their ships quite quickly. However,
look at the tower.
The tower.
Look at the tower in the Viper's base.
Yeah, I think I might be a little ahead of you. What time are you at? I'm at 16:30.
1627.
Okay, alright, cool. So yeah, this goes down, but how many villagers is Viper bringing into fight here? And how many spears does DauT have? He's like double spear rushing the Viper right now. This is brilliant. This is just so brilliant. And, with Viper and DauT fighting like this, it actually does put so much more emphasis on their teammates to actually win the game for them.
Well, I love the spearman play from DauT. He knows his opponent is only going to be able to make knights. You can't really switch things up. And this tower, it connects the other 2 towers.
Oh.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, the tower there actually killing a villager as well. And the knights from Viper, he hasn't been able to afford really any upgrades on them. He's got no bloodlines. He's got +1 defense, and that's it. Squeak, on the other hand, is coming in with +1/+1, double stable knight production. And we're starting to see King Marv and Squeak building up their TCs behind DauT's base here. On the other hand, Idefix and Andoran, we're only just seeing 1 TC coming up from those guys. And the real difference in strategy here is that Andoran and Idefix are much more heavily focused on the water. King Marv losing all of his fish. And Squeak's fishing ship's probably going to go the same way as well. But the damage is already done. Viper is already in a horrible position right now, as he's desperately trying to build that TC on the north side to protect his villagers. And Squeak's there with his knights just ready to get raiding as soon as it goes up.
Sorry, I have to point this out. This is hilarious. Next to the Viper's bill, he's actually walled in these 2 villages where DauT's villages used to be.
And he's going to get butchered in there as well. They're going down. Oh, wait, are they? Squeak? Hello? Okay, there you go. Wow. Viper losing so much here. This has got to hurt. Viper down to 1,500 score. The lowest in the game by a landslide here.
Yeah, it's a complete role reversal from last game. The question is, what does DauT do to follow this up?
Yeah, I mean, DauT's got to transition to castle, right? And he's a little bit of a way away yet. His eco's a little bit unbalanced. He's actually building a market right now to kind of shift his eco around a little bit. He's got a little bit too much gold, and he doesn't have any fish going at the moment, so he doesn't actually have any income of food on the water, which means he's not really got that much food income right now. I think DauT could very easily just stop the spears, take some villages away from stone, let Squeak do the hard work on the land, and just get himself to castle at this stage. They may as well... Go ahead.
Look at this tower from DauT, though. It's coming in right on top of the Viper's town center. This is an absolute epic tower.
Another one. Another one. Hit me again. What is this TC from Viper actually going to achieve here? He built this TC to give his villagers some kind of a safe space, and DauT's just like, nah, no, you're not allowed that. That's now harassed once again by my towers. He can't build any farms around that. He can't gather wood there. He can't do anything. Viper's just look at this eco. It's so messy. Is he just gonna resort to bum rushing the towers, or is he running away? I don't know which.
Koreans OP, please nerf.
You've got to love them though. They're so good. Viper back to wood now. He's doing the okey cokey. He can't figure out which way he wants his villagers to go. And Squeak, with his knights ever present as well, these villagers are in so much risk. Viper's like right on the edge here. He's really got nothing in this game, and DauT just needs to get that transition to castle, and I think his team could very easily solidify this sort of hold on the center island, or on the motherland, I should say.
I think so too. Squeak has got an absolute epic boom coming in. He's on to 4 town centers now, and he's still running around with those knights. So their team looks to be in a very, very good position.
Yeah, definitely. Although, yes, they did lose the fish, or he is losing his fish at the top. He's already gotten a huge advantage from those fishing ships. That's allowed him to make so many knights quite easily and boom at the same time. So I feel like even if he loses the fish now, they've done so much damage on the land in the center that it's not the end of the world. If you compare what's going on in the middle to, Andoran and Idefix, Idefix is only just adding in his second town center right now. That's coming up very late in comparison to King Marv and Squeak. And then you've got Andoran, who's up to 3 TCs as well, starting to make some military on the land. But it's a much more delayed response on the land from Viper's team. And Viper really needs the help right now. Look at this. DauT walling in Viper's villages as best he can with these houses, and Squeak just going to town. So many villagers dying here as Viper's villagers lead them in these knights into the monks of Andoran, who will go ahead and get a couple of conversions. But man, if you can take Viper out of the game this early on, good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see guard tower coming in. DauT has enough stone for a castle and then some. So this could be potentially the nail in the coffin, right as the Viper goes out for a bum rush on a few of these towers.
Yeah, he's bum rushing in the north as well, trying to take that one down. But quite rightly, as you said, since he's playing as the Koreans, that guard tower upgrade going to come in for free. And that's going to just lay down even more damage into Viper's villagers here, since they do get that extra range for free. And that means that they're just going to be hammering away from even longer distances. The castle could be huge from DauT as well. Viper's going to need a lot of time to rebuild here, if he rebuilds at all, because right now his villagers are surrounded. They're trapped. He needs to get out of there, and he needs to find a safe space to rebuild and get himself back into this game, because right now he's losing villagers all over the place. There's another one.
Yeah, it looks... yeah. Looks like, let's see, what is DauT doing with the stone? He's still got that stone in the bank. I don't see the villagers going forward. Now, I have to question, do you want a castle or do you just want to add a few more towers? That's a lot of towers you could afford as well.
Yeah, that's true, actually. But I feel like, you're going to want to get a castle eventually as the Koreans, because, you got to think long-term as well. And that's going to be towards the war wagons late game. Could be worth getting them out. So for DauT, I think the castle is still a great choice, even though he could make a lot of guard towers as well. I'd say he's already got a good surround on Viper's base at this stage. Andoran, though, coming into the picture a little bit here. And since his team has now started to, won the water, if you compare, look at this side at the top of the map right now. You see Idefix with his war galleys just going to town on Squeak's fish. On the left side, Andoran's got the war galleys there. So they've got a better food economy right now, since they've got a lot more fishing ships coming out, and that means that Andoran and Idefix can start to really focus on the center a little bit more. Now they've safely won the water, but I do feel like they've come in a little bit late, and Andoran now only just adding a battering ram to start taking down these guard towers. Viper really didn't get help much earlier than this, and that's really been a big problem for him and his team.
This game has such a similar feel to the last game, where one of the 2K players got hit really early on, but still, the game is so close right now. They're basically, the scores are switching back and forth. I have to give a lot of credit to Idefix. He's able to hold the water, and now King Marv is coming onto the water as well.
Oh, King Marv, yeah, he is a little bit, but I think, though, that, Squeak and King Marv...
Yeah, I switched the teams.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, yeah, Squeak and King Marv, they're really, I think, more focused in the center. And with DauT now being in the Castle Age, Squeak reaching the Imperial Age, I'm really expecting them to just try and play this like a migration in a sense, where they're going to go ahead and try and control the center as much as possible. But at the same time, we do see Squeak adding in galleons now that he's in the Imperial Age to try and push things back a little bit. I wonder if he is going to just really focus on the water instead. I actually don't know what the best decision would be here, to be honest. I mean, what I'm thinking right now is Viper's basically out of the game. Why not just push that and push these guys off of the motherland in the center completely and shut them down?
I would, if I was Squeak, I would heavily consider Condottiero. They're very, I mean, you don't have to afford any of the upgrades going into it. And Idefix has such a large navy, I think he could defend even with these upgrades coming in.
Yeah, Idefix has got a huge number of war galleys, that's for sure. He is probably going to hold that off for the time being. I just, like I said, I would love to just see Squeak and King Marv just go 200% on the land here and push Viper into the ocean, essentially. We've got DauT. He tried to come forward with a castle in the center, but Andoran had a mangonel there, and, of course, the knights and the monks as well. So that castle wasn't successful. DauT's actually gone back now. Maybe he'll build his castle somewhere else. DauT just doing DauT things, gone up to 4 TCs, 5 TCs even. Is it 5 or 4? It's 4, but still, gonna go for a pretty big boom here. And for the time being, kind of just defending with monks, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I would like to see more on the land. However, Squeak really focusing on the water, it seems, for the time being.
And Squeak's gonna push out. Now he's finally getting those numbers that he needs. I'm going to check where Idefix is onto the next age. Idefix is nowhere near to the next age. I think it would be a very good idea if he could try to afford that sometime soon.
Yeah, this could be a pretty bad fight for Idefix here, actually. He's not fighting with his whole army. He really should be patrolling these guys, but instead they're just idling there, and that's allowing Squeak to take a really favorable engagement, as his galleons, obviously have the advantage one-on-one. And since Idefix isn't fighting with his whole army, he is just dying. He really should fight with his whole army here, and maybe he would have won. I think it might even be too late, as Squeak's galleons will probably start to really inflict big damage here now that he has the chemistry research as well. So, yeah, Squeak there might push back on the right side. Andoran still has good water control on the very north of the map. But I think the real story at the moment is the fact that Andoran now is really, focusing a little more on the center. He's got a lot of siege out. He's starting to clean out the towers from DauT. This is going to give Viper a little bit more breathing room. It's going to allow Viper to start to rebuild back into the game. Now he's got his 3rd TC. And Andoran really just saving Viper's skin here. And this is exactly why I think that DauT's team should have pressured them even more and just completely wipes them out on the land. And then Viper would have had no way back into this. As it stands, Viper's actually starting to rebuild, starting to reboom, and the pressure on the land is completely gone from DauT's side.
Yeah, just as we say that, it looks like Idefix did have enough to defend for the time being, so he's doing the best job he can. Remember, all of Idefix's resources has been put onto the water. These could have been resources he put onto the land, but instead he chose it onto the water. So we're going to have to see him go with some big damage here if he wants to make this worth it.
Yeah, for sure. DauT now on the way up to the Imperial Age. I think he's going to be the 2nd player up, unless Andoran's slightly ahead. Yeah, Andoran's going to be up first, then it's going to be DauT. So we're going to see Andoran up to Imp, and Andoran is completely switched away from water now. If you have a look, he's not making anything really on the water. He's actually sending more villas over to the center. And with Andoran going up to the Imperial Age, with having so many TCs up, with having a few fish up as well, I'm expecting him to really get aggressive on the land here. I'm wondering what he's going to do, though, because right now I'm only seeing 4 stables from him. And Italians aren't the best knight civ.
Well, they do get a lot of good cavalry upgrades, but you're right. You're not going to want to stay on them for too long, but you could see them for a while. It looks like Andoran's going to go into archery ranges, and I see King Marv going into archery ranges, so we're going to see the Portuguese versus the Italian gunpowder.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I was going to say I would expect to see the Italians going for the gunpowder units. If we look at Andoran's university, chemistry is coming in. So that's going to be pretty cool. And we also have DauT now about to hit the Imperial Age as well. With him going Imperial, I mean, I'm expecting that we're going to see some siege coming out from him. I would love to see some ottages coming out straight away, especially given that we're going to be seeing the gunpowder units coming up from Andoran here. Other than that, let's hold tight. We've got the war wagons on the way out as well. We've actually got 1 war wagon just raiding Andoran's woodline right now, but that's just going to get converted straight away.
DauT looks to be going into Arbalest at the time being with his archery ranges on the right. Finally, Squeak is going to get his sweet revenge, and he's going to push out on the bottom side and take out quite a few villages here.
Yeah, I'm trying to see that. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Wow, that's a huge amount of damage down there. Jeez, Squeak with his galleons coming in. Nicely done. And that's actually going to deny the fish from Idefix and Andoran as well. So right now, neither team is fishing. And the focus is really now just entirely on the center, with Squeak actually being able to do quite a lot of damage with these extra galleons here. That's actually something I didn't consider before. The team in the north, like DauT's team, they built their town centers quite inland. Whereas Idefix and Andoran actually built a lot of their town centers very close to the shoreline. And I think that's a big mistake from them.
Yeah, this could be huge. Look at Squeak's score. It's absolutely massive. Is he having cheats on or something? Is that 8,000 score? With these galleons, he can take out, what, 3, 4, maybe
GCs.
town centers?
Yeah.
And all the eco that's in the middle, too. There's quite a bit in the middle for Andoran and Idefix and the little potato spuds.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Squeak here in a great position to do that. And now I'm starting to see, okay, well, given how Andoran and Idefix built their TCs, Squeak just hit the jackpot with taking the water right now. However, at the same time, he isn't neglecting the land. He's actually done the Elite Genoese crossbow upgrade. He's actually adding a forward castle right now. And these guys are going to be pushing 2v1 versus Idefix on this right-hand side. Of course, Viper is nowhere to be seen. He is just not prepared to engage at this stage because he's so far behind in the castle age here. And on the center of the map, you have Andoran, who's focusing down on these castles. But in this situation, yeah, Idefix probably going to crumble on this right flank.
Yeah, the right flank's looking really bad. He's only playing as the measly Vikings in the Castle Age. There's no way he can defend this. The Viper can't defend this. It's all up to Andoran if he wants to keep his team in check.
Yeah, Idefix here is on the way up to the Imperial Age, but as you say, he is playing as the Vikings. You can only really expect one or two things from him, and in this situation, it has to be Arbalest. But he's going to be very outnumbered. It's going to be an uphill battle for him, quite literally, with this hill here from Squeak and DauT. And TC is now coming under fire. And as we said, it's really going to come down to Andoran. And this is going to be real tough because, you know, hand cannons, they're not the best against massed Arbalest like this. They don't trade that effectively. And is that GG? That's GG.
Wow, what an epic game we saw today. It looked like a player going out very early on, and then it looked like they came back, and then it looked like it was going to be like a for the other team, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that was a very messy game, but I think it really just comes down to the fact that Viper was out so early on. He just didn't have a leg to stand on in the late game. It took him so long to get some kind of breathing room and to actually be able to start rebooming. It took way too long. And as a result, it was basically 3v2 in the end, where your best player is just out of it. And that's just no good for Idefix and Andoran. I also want to say Squeak played so well that game. The fact that he actually went on the land at the start in the Castle Age, but then switched back to the water for long enough to win the water, but then also switched back to the land just in time to support DauT with this Imperial Age aggression as well. So he was in the right places at the right time, I would say.
I think we have to give a lot of credit to DauT too. I mean, it's so risky actually what he did. He went forward with 4 villagers, went all the way around the north side, and he has to, you know, not get seen. And luckily, he did get those first 2 towers up and just made massive damage with that Korean's trash. Could have easily went a different way. DauT could have easily chosen a different strategy, but he really played that to perfection.
Yeah, the Korean Trush was really very effective. It basically crippled Viper in the Fuel Age there. And I think, you know, Viper was very committed to his fast castle. But as we said earlier on, like, he really didn't have any answer. Once he got to the Castle Age, it was like, okay, he could afford to make 2 knights, and that was it. By which time, Squeak already had 3 or 4, I think he made probably about 12 knights total, and Viper just couldn't hold up to that. At that stage, Andoran and Idefix were 100% committed to the water. So Viper had no support on the land. He was 2v1, essentially. And with his teammates being so committed to the water, sure, they did take out the fishing ships eventually. They did delay Squeak and King Marv's fish boom, but they weren't there for Viper when they needed them, you know? That's what really matters.
Just going back to before the game, DauT Civ was picked by the other team. And so You know, I think they're underestimating the Koreans just a little bit here. How strong the tower rush can be on a very small map.
Yeah. They were so close together as well that the rush distance, with it being so short, allowed DauT to just get in there super quick and really catch Viper off guard. Just one last thing before we do check the achievements. NC Andor in there ending the game with, "My throne was the most uncomfortable. No wonder thou wert victorious. I shall abdicate." I like that. Big fan of the AI resign response. Yes, guys, I am aware of the flag issue with DauT. I made an honest mistake. I used the wrong flag. It is not the Russian flag, actually. You could just, it's his face covering the Serbian flag, or the Slovakian flag. I can't remember which one. I'm sorry, I made the mistake. I cannot fix it right now. So we will have to deal with it. It is very dangerous and could attack at any time. Having a quick look at the military stats. Let's see why Squeak had that score lead. And, well, that's why. Nearly 2 times, or over 2 times, the kills of any other player in the game, with a great KD ratio as well. So, very well played by Squeak. Much larger army than anyone else. Eco-wise, Squeak was there with his gold, with his wood. That's all he needed to win the water. And of course, that's all he needed to make his Genoese crossbows as well. He was the first of the Imperial Age. I mean, this guy, give this man a medal. He's got all the stars.
I'd just like to point out the Viper villager high 69 in this game. It goes to show you how great he was doing this game. If you look at the timeline, it literally goes all downhill from when he started the game. I've never seen that before.
Look at the timeline. And just look at how Viper gets squeezed into the middle here. And then he starts to pull it back. And by that point, it's just, yeah, it's too late. I don't think Viper had a single military unit past 15 minutes of game time.
I don't think so
Just
either.
trying to rebuild this way back.
Largest army is 1. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa, wait, what? Largest army of 1? GG, Viper, get wrecked.
This was a 39-minute game, and his largest army was 1 with the villager high of 69. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Oh, what a game. All right, guys. So